A young taxi driver suddenly stops his car in the middle of the road because he suddenly can't see. A person walking by offers to help and gets in the driver's seat. They go to the taxi driver's house, and he explains how he's feeling. It's like he sees shapes moving in the mist. The helper is surprised and says that being blind is usually thought of as being dark. When they reach the crosswalk, the helper tells the driver that they are at his house. But as soon as the driver gets out of the car, the helpful person hits the gas and drives off, leaving the man alone in the middle of the road. The man asks people for help, and one person walks him home and helps him get to his apartment. The taxi driver's wife is very worried about how her husband is doing. She quickly finds an eye doctor's phone number and takes her husband to an appointment. She is surprised that a thief would rob a blind man so easily. The doctor checks the taxi driver but sees that he has no eye problems. He writes down the test results and tells the young man to go to the hospital for a complete checkup. The couple goes back home. At the same time, the doctor sees more patients. They include a child, a woman wearing dark glasses, and an old man with one eye. Later, he goes back home and tells his wife about the unusual situation. They have a calm evening together while one of the doctor's patients goes to a drugstore, buys medicine, and takes a taxi to a hotel because she is a call girl. She keeps her sunglasses on like the doctor told her to and isn't very surprised when everything she sees goes white. At the same time, the doctor's wife gets up before him and makes coffee for the morning. Suddenly, the doctor says he can't see anything and thinks he got infected by the patient he saw yesterday. The man gets really scared, and he only reaches out to his coworkers after his wife helps him relax. They start to note unusual cases of sudden blindness, but they still don't know what's going on. The white blindness spreads quickly, and an ambulance comes to take the doctor away. His wife tries to get into the same car, but they won't let her in until she says that she has also suddenly lost her sight. The couple is taken to a place that has been changed to hold people in quarantine, and the government announces this right away. The doctor and his wife are the first to enter the big room, which is labeled number 1. Even though the husband keeps telling his wife to admit that she can still see and go home, she won't do it. Soon, more patients come into the room. They include the taxi driver, the thief, and the child. The taxi driver hears the thief's voice and knows who he is. They start to fight, but the doctor quickly steps in to stop them. Later, the people begin to get used to their new home. The doctor's wife helps them get used to the place by showing them where the bathroom is and telling them to count their steps and remember the turns and doors. One day, she goes for a walk and hears the guard say that only sick people are allowed in this place. At that time, more people come. These include a police officer, a pharmacy assistant, a hotel cleaner, and a financial advisor who is actually the taxi driver's wife. When he hears her voice, he calls to her, and they have a hard time finding each other. The new people get comfortable. The doctor hears the guards talking and asks them to bring medicine because he needs to help the hurt people. But they aim their guns at him and threaten to shoot him and his wife if they don't go back to their place. Because they are cut off from the outside world and more patients keep coming in, the living conditions in the quarantine center are slowly getting worse. The girl helps the child who keeps asking for his mom. At the same time, the maid thinks about the woman with glasses who got her sick, not knowing that the woman is close by. Soon, food runs low. The only person who can see is the doctor's wife. She tries to call for help, but no one picks up the phone. The next day, a new group of patients comes in, and one of them is the eye doctor's helper. The doctor's wife does her best to keep things organized. She thinks of using ropes to connect the areas so that people can walk around. One day, an old man with one eye arrives at their room with a radio. He tells the news. In the first day, many people got sick. Doctors were stuck in constant meetings because they didn't know what to do, but eventually, they also started losing their vision. Weeks go by, and many people are made to stay in quarantine. One day, a bus crash happens and 23 people die. On the same day, 2 planes crash into each other, making people scared. There are more accidents, so people are starting to stay at home. Almost everyone is now unable to see. After sharing his story, the one-eyed man plays music. While he plays, everyone listens quietly, as if it's a hello from a happy time long ago. Lots of people cry. More and more people are coming to the quarantine center, and soon the guards can't keep things under control. They don't want to be close to the sick people, so they start shooting at anyone who breaks the rules, even if they don't know they're breaking them. The first people die. The people in quarantine want a shovel to dig a hole to bury themselves. The doctor's wife goes outside to get it. She keeps pretending to be blind and finds it hard not to react when she sees that the guard is making fun of her. The woman quietly grabs the shovel, and even though the guards are really surprised, they think it's because she adapted quickly. In a situation about fair food distribution, a patient with a weapon from the third ward claims he is the king and takes charge of all the food. The next day, the king says there are new rules. Now, everyone who wants to eat has to pay. He jokingly sings for everyone and asks his fans to sing with him. Later, a real fight for food starts, but everyone is too scared of the weapons to stand up for themselves. The king wants important things in return for food, and he finds out that the doctor's wife can see. Her husband tries to get everyone together to fight back, but people don't see how important their jewelry is anymore. Since they aren't useful anymore, people are removing all their expensive items. The doctor's wife gathers them, and her husband trades them for food. The doctor tries to make him feel bad, but in the end, the patients get much less food than they need. He feels bad about what happened and won't eat. The call girl tries to convince him to go along with the new situation, because it's hard to live after taking someone else's life. They have a special moment together, and his wife sees it. She tells the call girl that she understands and forgives what happened. A week goes by, and people run out of valuable things. Then the king tells his men to bring women to him in return for food. The doctor's wife asks the guards for help, but they tell her they are already doing their best. People start to argue. Some men say we should not listen to the king's rules, while others are okay with sharing their women. The doctor doesn't want his wife to join, but he can't force her to agree with him. Some women, like the call girl and the doctor's wife, offer to go get food for everyone. The taxi driver tries to stop his wife, but she goes away. 9 women help out as volunteers. The doctor's wife takes them to the third ward and has them stand in a line. This makes the king and his followers happy, and the party starts. Later, the women come back, bringing one of their own who was killed by the king's men in a sudden fight. The women try hard to help her feel better and say goodbye. The next night, the king says that tonight he and his helpers are waiting for the women from the second area. The blind man, who was born that way, comes to check if the people who visited them yesterday are feeling better. The doctor's wife tells him that one of them has died. He stops talking and walks away. The doctor's wife grabs some scissors and goes to the third room. She sees the king is busy and kills him, but a blind man who has never seen can tell it's her by the sound of her steps and grabs a gun. He tells them to catch her, but the women run away. Before leaving, the doctor's wife promises that for every day without food, one person in the third ward will die, and she is sure about it. The woman shares everything with her husband, and he understands that they are about to face a big fight. He tells them to block the doors. After some disagreements, the men in his group suddenly decide to just go and grab the food. 12 volunteers come together, led by the doctor's wife. But then, one of the victims of the assault starts a fire. The king's helpers, scared, start to shoot, and everyone runs away in different directions. The doctor's wife takes the people from her area out to the yard. She calls for the guards, but nobody answers. Then the woman opens the gates and sees that no one is watching them. The sick people go into a partly destroyed city that is full of trash and dead bodies. Groups are fighting each other for food everywhere. The doctor's wife finds a store that isn't too damaged and takes her group inside. She tells them to close the doors and not let other groups come in. Later, everyone takes a break in the store, and the doctor's wife says they should all go to her house. It's large and cozy, and everyone can make themselves at home there. They are happy that their leader can see. The group starts their journey. The doctor's wife talks about what is going on around them, and people describe how they look, including their hair and eyes, so their friends can picture them. They quickly get to the house. The door is locked, but that doesn't mean there isn't anyone inside, so they are careful. The doctor's wife tells them to take off their dirty clothes because they have enough clean ones for everyone. Later, people clean themselves up and start joking about how they look for the first time. The old man with one eye says that he feels happy. He has found a family and now wants to live with them for the first time, helping and taking care of others. Later, everyone sits at the table and raises a glass to celebrate all people. In the morning, the doctor's wife tidies up and asks to have a meeting to set some rules because there isn't much food left. Then, all of a sudden, the first person who got sick, the taxi driver, tells everyone that he can see everything around him. His vision came back just as suddenly as it had disappeared. People hurry to hug each other because it shows that the blindness won't last long. Everyone is happy because they know the sickness will go away soon. They will be able to see again, and people will really pay attention this time. The doctor's wife suddenly understands that her tough responsibilities are over, and she is now free. The movie ends here. Please, my family, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.